It was like any of the other mornings for Grass Valley's Ken Cornys. He was on strict doctor's orders to get some daily exercise after a heart scare 2 years ago. So every day the 64-year-old retired PG&E foreman walked his 2 Pekingese dogs Sam and Suzy in a 4-mile loop which occasionally includes a shortcut through the parking lot of an area school. "Well, the doctor told me to walk 4 miles every day," said Mr. Cornys speaking from his living room at Rhode Island Street home, "but sometimes I want to get back to watch the Raiders, so I take a shortcut through the Lyman Gilmore Middle School field." "Hey, don't tell the wife, would ye? That's the last thing I need." As Mr. Cornys set out for his early Sunday morning walk, trying to hurry back to watch his beloved Raiders game at 9:30 a.m., he took his secret detour through the deserted parking lot at Lyman Gilmore Middle School. It was then when he saw something he knew no one would believe. "So I came up the driveway from Scotten Elementary School, which sits next to Lyman Gilmore Middle School, and I was gonna do my fast route across the field. What I saw as I came up to the top of the hill here stopped me in my tracks." According to Mr. Cornys, he saw what he has now identified as a World War II Cannon-class destroyer parked in the Lyman Gilmore field. "Well, I mean, it was a huge battleship or something kinda tilted on its side. And it was an old one," continued Mr. Cornys. "From a distance, I thought it was smoke from a fire or something because there was smoke, you know? But as I got closer, this thing was massive. It was the length of a football field and I'd say 100 feet high at the mast. It was just sitting there like it had always been there. My Suzy began to bark at it. Thank God I had my iPhone on me and was able to get a couple of pictures." Although Ken Cornys didn't realize what he was looking at, other than the obvious antique warship, one area man knew exactly what it was. "It doesn't take a genius to see what's going on here," said North San Juan Ridge's self-proclaimed conspiracy researcher, part-time chemtrail researcher and amateur ionizing radiation hobbyist SKYY Wolford from an undisclosed location outside of Nevada City, CA. "It's the USS Eldridge. I mean, it's even got the 54 on the side for Christ's sake," referring to the pictures published in the Union. "They've movies about it, there's been countless documentaries about it. It's been referred to as Philadelphia experiment and it's not the first time Eldridge has shown up in random locations. Why here? Well, my bets on are the work that Lyman Gilmore was doing last century and of course all the Lytton microwave experiments after the war. That's a no-brainer. The Philadelphia experiment is an alleged military experiment supposed to have been carried out by the U.S. Navy at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, sometime around October 28, 1943. The U.S. Navy destroyer escort USS Eldridge, DA-173, was claimed to have been rendered invisible, or cloaked, to enemy devices. The story first appeared in 1955, in letters of unknown origin sent to a writer and astronomer, Morris K. Jessup, but has since become synonymous with the phrase government cover-up. Lyman Gilmore of Grass Valley, California was rumored to have several technologies that contributed to him being the first in flight, beating the Wright brothers by almost 2 years. And Charles Lytton Sr., the father of the modern microwave oven, was said to have conducted many government radiation experiments in the 1950s from his Grass Valley Weapons Laboratory. "I mean, it makes sense when you think about it," continued a mood-elevated Mr. Wolford, "just do some research and you'll see that I'm right about this. Look man, the Eldridge is probably stuck in some space-time vortex. I wouldn't be surprised if it showed up here again." As for Mr. Cornys, upon realizing what he was seeing, Mr. Cornys snapped 3 pictures of the destroyer. But it was when he approached the massive naval vessel that the situation became even stranger. There was no one around, and I started yelling at the ship to see if anyone was on board. When no one answered, I started to walk up to it. After I got, I dunno, about 30 feet from it, I could see that it was steaming. I could also feel some heat coming off it. I decided that I better get away from it and turned and dragged the dogs towards the parking lot. As I got out to the driveway, I felt a burst of heat and when I turned around, it wasn't there. It was gone. The only evidence that any vessel was there, was a modest indentation of the lawn, and some dried grass. Mr. Cornys insists the lawn was scorched. And the pictures he took, which have been the subject of ridicule and scorn from locals and government officials. I know what I saw, and I have these pictures, you see. My wife thinks I'm just making up stories to get out of my walks. Figures.